I'm Batman.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and this is all of the Easter eggs, references, and little things that you might have missed in the trailer for The Flash. So we're going to break down all the Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck goodness, all the alternate timelines and universes, and how this is all leading to a big reset of the DC cinematic universe. So, you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
You ready? Let's do this. Alright, so we got an official trailer for this, plus a TV spot with some additional footage that we're also going to be breaking down as well. First though, I want to talk about the comics this story is likely based on, because that will inform what the heck is happening in this trailer.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
So, in the comics and in the DCEU, Barry's mom was killed when he was a kid. If you watched the Flash TV show, you probably remember this. He was killed by Barry's enemy, Eobard Thawn, aka the Reverse Flash, who was from the distant future. Now, Barry's dad was accused of the crime and then put in jail, which is why Barry goes to visit him in prison in the Justice League. Then, in a story called Flashpoint, Barry uses his super speed to travel back in time and save his mom's life. However, this makes all these unforeseen changes to the world, such as Thomas Wayne becoming Batman instead of Bruce. Barry did end up resetting the universe, but with a few things now different. Now, in the comics, this became a rebooted universe called the New 52, which gave us some great stories like Batman's Court of Owls and Grant Morrison's Superman run, along with many other great runs like Wonder Woman and Batgirl.
Stop talking comics, man. We want to hear about the trailer.
Right you are, Doug. Sorry. So, we're likely going to see Barry screw up time in this movie and then reset the universe. And that reset universe will be the new DCU that James Gunn talked about a couple weeks ago.
That resets the entire DC universe.
But how does Barry even travel back in time?
Well, could be a few different ways. So the Snyder Cut had this scene where Barry basically runs into the Speed Force and travels backward in time.
Oh yeah, it was the greatest all-time film moment ever, according to the Oscars.
Yeah. But also in the comics, Barry can vibrate his molecules to a different frequency, which allows him to travel to different parallel universes. And there's also a cosmic treadmill that allows him to travel between different universes as well. And believe it or not, Zack Snyder set all of this up in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Now just say right now?
Yep, the scene where Bruce falls asleep and then sees a vision of Barry. So remember in the Snyder Cut's weird epilogue? That would have set up a post-apocalyptic sequel where Superman turned evil and joined Darkseid. So Bruce invents this cosmic treadmill to send Barry back in time with a warning. I think it's possible that Bruce has created the same treadmill in this universe to allow Barry to travel through time. But inadvertently, Barry travels to a different universe and meets Michael Keaton's Batman. I gotta tell you, I think it's pretty great.
Hey, why are you eating cereal? It is the middle of the day.
Well, Doug the manager, it's my birthday.
It is? Well, I'll throw you a party. It's right there.
No, Doug, wait, it's not actually my birthday.
Now do say what now?
No, I'm eating a cereal called Birthday Cake from Magic Spoon. They're the sponsor of this video. Magic Spoon tastes like all the cereals from my childhood, but it has no gluten, soy, and there are 0 grams of sugar. But most importantly, they taste so good. Now, Birthday Cake was a limited edition, but now it's part of their permanent roster. I like the cocoa flavor best, but you should really try out their variety pack and find your own favorite. In fact, you can build your very own variety box from cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, honey nut, blueberry muffin, and cinnamon roll. And look, I am not kidding when I say how high quality this is. Look, you have 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Also, only 140 calories. I am not going back to regular cereal. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if it's not for you, they'll refund your money and you can part ways as friends. So use my code ScreenCrush to get $5 off your delicious high-protein Magic Spoon cereal by clicking the link below, so you can grab a box of Birthday Cake to try today. Now back to what I was saying. So regardless of how it happens, Barry discovers the full potential of his powers and his ability to travel through time. It makes sense that he'd want to travel back in time to save his mother from dying and to save his dad from wrongful imprisonment. The trailer opens with Barry in a brand new suit, equipped with fancy new lenses. Because let's face it, when you're traveling through time and space faster than the speed of light, dry eye is going to happen. So over the next few shots, we can hear Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne ask Barry,
You can go anywhere. Another timeline, another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
And Barry replies with,
Because this is the world where my mom lives.
Now, the closed captioning for this scene says because this is the one where my mom lives, but we've played it back a few times and we're pretty sure that Barry actually said because this is the world where my mom lives.
Because this is the world where my mom lives.
So, from this line and from what comes later in the trailer, we can assume that Barry has traveled to Keaton's Batman universe. So we have a couple theories we're going to elaborate on later on. One, he first travels back in time to save his mother. This causes ripple effects and makes it to where Zod is able to conquer the Earth because there's no Superman, similar to how there was no Bruce Wayne as Batman in Flashpoint. It could could be that after messing up this universe, Barry does some interdimensional travel once again and ends up in Keaton's Batman universe, and then Keaton has to go back to Barry's original universe and help him stop General Zod from conquering the world, along with all the new heroes who have been rebooted in the DCU. Or it could be that Barry travels back to 2013 in the Keaton universe, and in that Michael Keaton Batman universe, General Zod also attacks, but this time with no Superman to stop him. Now, this other universe being in 2013 lines up perfectly with other Barry being a little younger than our main Barry. If Barry was about 25 in the Justice League, which took place in 2017, then this younger variant of Barry would be about 21 here. Now, I do want to point something out about this younger version of Barry. When we meet him, he's wearing a yellow hoodie and these yellow headphones that look a lot like the costume worn by the Reverse Flash, Barry's archenemy from the future who killed his mom. I threw this theory out after the first trailer, but I don't think this is actually Barry. I think this is the Reverse Flash from the future disguised as a different Barry who's running around to kill Barry's mom and mess with time. That's just my prediction. Gonna leave that out there for you guys to debate in the comments. Now, during this conversation between Keaton's Bruce Wayne and Barry, we see footage of the younger Barry on top of Keaton's Wayne Manor, the same Wayne Manor from the Tim Burton and Michael Keaton Batman movies. Next, we see Keaton's rubber bat cow with a puddle of blood, a scene that I think might be a flashback sequence of Keaton's Batman explaining why he hung up the cape. In the Super Bowl TV spot, we see Bruce with a long gray hair standing in front of a secret door in a library, and behind that secret door are 7 bat suits. We think this first one could be a nod to the Flashpoint Batman, where Thomas Wayne had holsters like these, and the bat logo on the chest is very similar to the Adam West Batman. Next, we have a classic gray and blue suit like the one from the comics. At Mr. Ian McIntyre on Twitter pointed out that this is the suit from Batman 89 with burn damage from when he crashed the Batwing. Such a cool detail. Ian also says that the next suit is from Batman Returns and that the 5th suit could be inspired by the Scuba Batman action figure from the Batman Returns toy line. And last, we have a suit featuring some goggles and a hood. This made me think of the Nightmare suit worn by Affleck in that apocalyptic future of the DCEU that I talked about earlier. And speaking of suits, next we get our first look at the Flash ring, which we get an even better look at a little later in the trailer. This ring contains the Flash suit, just like it does in the comics, and we think that it was given to Barry by the Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne. Remember, this movie takes place after the events of Justice League.
Both of them.
Yes, both of them. High five. And we think it's likely that Bruce and Barry have a Tony Stark and Peter Parker type relationship. And not only in the sense that Tony and Bruce are both genius billionaire playboy philanthropists who made their New Boy Wonder superhero suits, but also that they're both heroes in their prime who know that their days of superheroing are numbered. And they're both looking for young blood to take their place in keeping the world safe. Next, we have this awesome shot of Ben Affleck's Batman on his bat cycle, and I love the blue tint that they gave this costume, more like the classic gray and blue suit from the comics, which, like we mentioned earlier, was in Keaton's suit room. We get a brief shot of what looks like Supergirl levitating off of a rooftop ledge, and then she appears to be in her Kryptonian suit.
Hey, what's a Kryptonian suit?
I'll explain a little later when we get a better look at it. Now, as all these quick scenes flash by, teasing what's to come in the rest of the trailer, we hear the sound of a clock ticking faster and faster, almost like a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Right? Okay, so this could be alluding to Barry being in a race against time to save his mom, her universe, and the multiverse entirely.
From Kang?
No, buddy, that's Marvel.
Swing of a miss.
And now DC's doing the multiverse too? Copying Marvel again, I see.
Doug, to be fair, this Flash movie's been in development since like 2014 in the early days of the DCEU. But with the game of musical chairs taking place with writers and directors, DC leadership, and Warner Brothers ownership having changed multiple times, and all the Ezra Miller drama, we're only just now getting to see the movie.
Just in time to reset the universe for James Gunn's DCU.
Exactly, high five. Now, a few other quick things we noticed in the first moments of the trailer were that this kid Barry is wearing a Scooby-Doo shirt with a mystery machine on the front. This could be a nod to the group of heroes that we'll see form together to solve the mystery of who killed Barry's mother and why stopping that murder causes so many other multiversal calamities. You also notice that Barry's dad is now being played by Office Space's Ron Livingston instead of Dr. Manhattan himself, Billy Crudup, who played him in the Justice League. Now, this recasting was simply due to some scheduling conflicts. Now, the look of the dad's face here is one of fear, making us wonder if there was something this young Barry Allen may have done to hurt his mother unintentionally, and that could be why we see him running away. Or it could be from the shock of witnessing his mother die, similar to how Star-Lord reacted when his mom died. Now, when Barry runs out of his house, we can see the sky start to change, like a time lapse. Could this be a young Barry running through time?
Hey, I thought that Barry didn't get his powers till he was like older.
Well, that is the case for the comics and for the main DCEU Barry, but anything's possible in the multiverse. However, we don't think that young Barry is actually running through time here. But but that this is actually a modern day Barry having a flashback after going to visit his childhood home where the death of his mother took place. So when Barry mentions his mother being alive in this world and how he's not ever going to lose her again, here we have a shot of a trembling hand reaching up to a picture. The same picture we saw hanging in the library on the secret door to Bruce's bat suits. This is a picture of Bruce and his parents, Thomas and Martha. Now over this footage, we hear Barry say,
Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets.
We think this line could be another way of saying that no matter how much you mess with time, some things are going to happen no matter what. A common obstacle one encounters when attempting to alter time.
Her death is an absolute point in time.
Absolute.
Unchangeable. Unmovable.
Now, here we see the DCEU Barry in the bedroom of his variant younger self.
Now wait, who do what now?
Well, not only has Barry traveled to the past, 2013 to be exact, but he's also in another universe. A universe where Michael Keaton is Batman and his mother is alive.
Wait, why did Barry travel to 2013 in another universe?
Now, we don't actually think he meant to travel to a parallel universe, and that this is a result of him messing with time and reality. In this next bit of the trailer, we hear Barry having a conversation with Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, likely following his big action set piece in the first act of the film. Bruce warns Barry against the dangers of traveling back in time.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be. Bruce, I could fix things. You could also destroy everything.
Like I said, I think this scene takes place early in the film, and in typical fashion, the young ward who's been told not to do something by their mentor decides to do it anyways. Now, we could see Ezra travel back in time and save his mother, but what if it wasn't his mother that was saved, but instead the mother of his variant self? The main reason we think Barry didn't just change his future but also jump to another universe entirely is because of Keaton's Batman existing in this world. Barry saving his mother would only change the events that happened after his mother's death. This would not explain why Batman is now Michael Keaton and not Ben Affleck. Unless, of course, Michael Keaton was playing Thomas Wayne, the father of Bruce Wayne, who becomes Batman in the story Flashpoint. Next, we see the return of Michael Shannon Zod. Now, we see Zod's distorted face on TV, just like in Man of Steel, and we see his ship here in what we can assume is Metropolis. So we're going back to the seminal event of the DCEU, Zod's attack on the world. And then we hear Barry say,
I completely broke the universe.
This is our first hint that Barry must have done something prior to arriving in this new universe that has doomed its very existence. We can see Zod on this very familiar desert terrain from Man of Steel, and a shot of a discarded Kryptonian suit. We think this suit probably belongs to Kara Zor-El. We hear Barry say,
I created a world with no metahumans.
Now, I can understand how Barry changing the fate of his mother would change his fate as well, making it to where he never embarked down the path that led to his speedster powers. But I don't know what he could have done that would have resulted in no metahumans such as Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman from ever coming into existence. It could be that changing the past simply fundamentally altered the universe in some way, sort of like how in Flashpoint, somehow Barry saving his mom made Bruce Wayne get shot by a mugger instead of his dad. Changing one event sends ripples through time. So now, in this universe, there is no Superman to save the world from Zod. Maybe Kal-El died when he was a kid, unable to adapt to Earth's atmosphere. Or maybe in this new timeline, Zod was simply able to kill Kal-El and claim the Kryptonian Codex from his blood.
All that for a drop of blood.
But we have to remember, guys, this is a trailer, and we aren't really getting the full picture. But it's possible that something Barry did has resulted in all the metahumans being detained and experimented on. In this scene, we see who we think is Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, based on the gown that we see her wearing later in the trailer. She's malnourished and has holes in her spine, likely from experimentation that's been done on her. Remember, Zod's Kryptonians are obsessed with genetic purity. They grow their children in labs, using the Kryptonian Codex that was part of Kal-El's DNA.
We'll sever the degenerative bloodlines that led us to this state.
And who will decide which bloodline survives, Zod? You?
So it could be that Kara Zor-El, aka Superman's cousin, was a product of these experiments. Next, we get an awesome shot of Keaton's Batcave, accompanied by that classic Danny Elfman score. We get the bats, the Batmobile, the Batwing, the waterfall, and the line.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Next, we get arguably one of the most badass Batman fight sequences I have ever seen. We get this great shot of Supergirl flying Barry 1 into the clouds, maybe to get a jolt of lightning to enhance his connection to the Speed Force.
Hey, you keep saying that. What's a Speed Force anyways?
Well, it's like this cosmic force that gives Barry his super speed.
Continue.
Alright, so on this ambulance we can see Gotham City Fire Department, and the hospital is named the Martha Wayne Institute after Bruce's mother.
Why did you say that name?
And if you look closely where the ground is breaking apart, this is your mom. When Batman does another superhero landing here, we can see someone lying on the ground in a gown. Now, this is either Supergirl or another metahuman who is the subject of some experimentation. Next, we have this awesome shot of the two Barrys fighting Zod's lackeys. And if you'll notice, it's in that same desert terrain from Man of Steel, and they're still wearing their special suits to protect them from Earth's atmosphere, and they're surrounded by tanks and other military vehicles, meaning this is likely the same scene from Man of Steel where Superman surrenders himself to Zod, which is what Zod demanded to be done when he broadcast himself across the entire planet.
Surrender within 24 hours, or watch this world suffer the consequences.
But with Superman not being there, then who is Zod looking for?
Well, like I said earlier, there's several possibilities. Maybe Superman just doesn't exist in this universe and he's been replaced by Supergirl. Maybe Superman never made it to Earth as a baby. Or like I said, maybe Kal-El died from Earth's atmosphere when he was a kid. Or maybe we'll see Zod kill Superman and begin his takeover to terraform Earth into a new Krypton.
Poor Henry Cavill.
I know, the guy can't win, right? In Barry's bedroom, we can see posters for Pacific Rim, which came out the summer of 2013, same as the Man of Steel. Now, Pacific Rim is about giant robots fighting off monsters from another world. Pretty appropriate to what we see in this trailer. And we also have a poster for the Will Smith apocalypse movie I Am Legend, which is fitting for the line that Barry 1 is saying to Barry 2 in this scene.
There might not be a future.
Next, we have a shot of the Batwing being struck by lightning that travels down a metal cable. Maybe this is how they give Barry 2 his powers. And shout out to the channel Heavy Spoilers for pointing out that Batman and Barry had to team up to re-give Barry his powers in the Flashpoint comics. Now, in this shot of Supergirl punching one of Zod's lackeys, we can see that same desert terrain, meaning that while Superman may not show up in this scene, his cousin does. And real quick, Kara has been confirmed by Zack Snyder to exist in the mainline DCEU. Snyder has confirmed that this is her busted pod in the crash-landed Kryptonian ship that Clark finds on Earth. And of course, James Gunn also announced a movie called Supergirl World of Tomorrow, based on the excellent Tom King comic series. So Supergirl is in the DCU to stay. Next, we see Flash creating a tornado like he does several times in the comics. Now, if you look closely, there's another Flash in the background. Now, this is the third Flash we've seen in this scene. We have Barry 1 in his new Flash suit that comes with his ring, but in this scene, the other Flash is wearing a black costume. And in this scene, the other Flash is wearing a more iconic red costume. Now, in this scene where we see the two Flash's feet touch, the black costume appears to have been a red costume painted black. You can see that the lightning bolt on the boot is spray painted, and you can see hints of red beneath the black on his thigh, meaning that perhaps Barry 2 has just moved so fast that his paint job flaked off. Now, one of the first teaser images for this movie was Michael Keaton's bat suit spray painted to look like a Flash suit. So I think we're starting to see the red paint flake off of this black suit here. Some more awesome snippets from this desert battle include Supergirl using her heat vision and Batman in his Batwing firing missiles at Zod's ship. And let me say that again, just in case your jaw didn't drop to the floor the first time. We have Michael Keaton's Batman fighting alongside Supergirl and two Flashes, and he's firing missiles from the Batwing at General Zod's ship.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
What a great time to be alive.
Heck yeah, it is. High five. We get another shot of Ben Affleck's Batman gliding down a hallway on his feet and using his grappling gun. And we get a shot of Barry 2 kicking one of the bad guys, and you can see even clearer here that the black paint is coming off, revealing a red suit underneath.
But where did this other Flash suit come from?
Well, that's a great question, buddy. Maybe Michael Keaton's Batman has met Flashes from previous timelines before. Perhaps a Flash who died in battle and Bruce has kept the suit all these years.
Stretch, just so you don't know and move on.
No, really, it's possible that we'll learn Keaton's Batman has been part of a much bigger multiverse since we last saw him in Batman Returns. Maybe he knew Christopher Reeve's Superman and Linda Carter's Wonder Woman.
But wait, aren't Val Kilmer and George Clooney's Batman the same Batmans as Michael Keaton?
Doesn't count.
In the TV spot, we can see Supergirl fly up to Zod and yell, "What did you do?" Now, this could be for several reasons. Perhaps she's learned that Zod has killed her cousin Kal, or that he's begun terraforming the Earth, or maybe,
don't say it,
maybe he killed,
don't you dare say it, I can't take it,
Batman.
No!
There is a high likelihood that we see Keaton's Batman die in this movie because, well, it all fits. Retired hero gets pulled back into the fight, helps save the day, and in the process gets themselves out of the funk they've been in all the years off the job, and then they're met with peace as they meet their final moments. And here we see Barry yelling no because this kick-ass trailer is almost over. Next, we see our heroes travel to the Black Widow movie.
Haha, because snowy mountains, bad guys, superhero landings, that's good, I like that, it's good stuff, you know, you got a really good observations person, I like you.
Thanks, man. In this sequence, we see Batman and the two Barrys at the place Supergirl is being held, and then we get to see Supergirl wreck shop. And after getting Supergirl back to Wayne Manor, we hear Barry say it's not Clark, which makes me wonder if Barry went searching for Superman when Zod arrived, and that's what led him to Kara. And actually, now that I've taken another look at it, this looks like a government facility. Like, the government took Supergirl out of that pod that Zack Snyder talked about and has been keeping her prisoner in here for years, shielded from the sun so she couldn't develop her powers. So, Barry and Batman come to this facility to rescue her and enlist her aid in the fight against Zod. Now, at the end tag, we get a great view of Supergirl's costume, which looks a lot like John Kent's Superman costume from the comics, John Kent being Superman's son. We've actually got a video up now on the channel theorizing that James Gunn's new DCEU Superman could be John Kent, fulfilling the legacy of his father, the Superman. And we know we've also got that Supergirl movie coming up, so maybe we'll see Sasha Calle continue as the new Superwoman in the DCU. So guys, those are our thoughts on the Flash trailer. If you have anything that we missed, let us know in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.